Welcome, dear friends, to the 67th class of the Bhagavad Gita. We are studying chapter 9. In the last class, we studied from shlokas number 10 to 15. So let's quickly revise those shlokas. In shloka number 10, Krishna says to Arjuna, "O son of Kunti, it is solely by my impregnating presence that Mother Nature gives birth to the animate and the inanimate. Because of me, through Prakriti, the worlds revolve in alternating cycles." So here Krishna is clearly saying he is the final cause of the universe, and he makes this world through the process of involvement of Prakriti, which is also his own power. So just to understand this a little more from common day examples, if we look all around, we have tube lights or bulbs in our home, we have fans, we have sound boxes, we have televisions, we have so many electrical appliances. Now think of the bulb as Prakriti and think of the electricity as Krishna consciousness, the all-pervading power. So electricity as it directly will not produce light, so it needs the bulb to create light. And on the other hand, the bulb itself cannot produce light because it needs the power of electricity. So we find that in all the things that are functioning around us, there is a hidden invisible power which is making them function. Even in our own bodies, we are just simply actually a witness of the processes of the body. We don't know how to digest our food. We do not know how to make our heart continuously to beat, and all the other functions are being performed by Prakriti, and we are that eternal presence which is right now living through this body. Now, in another example, we can think of a movie. So we know that when we see a movie on the screen, the actors are playing out certain roles. But whatever the actor is doing is actually already has been envisioned by the director. All the screenplay, all the lyrics, everything has been written previously. Everything has been directed previously, and then it is the actors that are projecting. So both are required, both the director as in Krishna consciousness, as well as the actors as in the Prakriti, they are both required. And same is the example of the air and space which Krishna gives, is that in space you have all the things exist in space, and yet without that substratum nothing could exist. So that space or that substratum is that Krishna consciousness, and all the activities that go on in that space, like a man walking or a bird flying or a balloon rising, all of that happens in that space of Krishna consciousness. So here Krishna is saying to us that I am that power, and through Prakriti I create, I sustain, and I dissolve. Okay. There's another example is coming to my mind is, when we were studying physics, and we used to have that bar magnet and we used to play with iron filings. So if you remember, when you put the bar magnet on a paper and you would throw some iron filings around it and tap the paper, automatically the iron filings would orient according to the magnetic axis. So here again, the invisible magnetic power of that bar of magnet is the real power which is causing all the iron filings to move towards it. So left on their own, iron filings cannot do anything. And also again, the magnet is if it is all alone, then nothing is going to happen. So you need both Purusha and Prakriti, and that is why it is said that both Shiva and Shakti are required for creation to be envisioned. And therefore when you pray, you cannot just pray to one aspect of divine. Because they are both one, like the Ardhanareshwar form. And in fact, there is this mythological story about Rishi Bhringi, he was dedicated to Lord Shiva, and he would go to Kailasha, to the abode of Shiva, and he would circumambulate only around Shiva, do parikrama only around Shiva, and he would not pay homage to Prakriti or to Ma Parvati. So Shiva understood the thought, and Parvati, also being the mother, she also understood. So one day as he came, they both united to form the Ardhanareshwar, and now Bhringi he did not understand first what to do. But then he said, okay, let me become a bee and I will try to somehow get in between them, and through them I will go. So this is what he tried. But then again, the Ma Parvati got angry at this, and she said that since you do not realize the power of Shakti, I therefore remove my power from you. And as she said that, all the air in his lungs, means the etheric air, started to vanish. All the energy in his body started to vanish. He literally collapsed down as a heap of ashes. So, and then it is because then he cried out, even those ashes cried out, and he realized and he repented. He knew that he had made a mistake, that without the power of Shakti, that nothing is going to exist as such. So as he called down, and because Parvati is the mother of the universe, she really helped him again back to take a human form. And she gave him an extra leg, and somehow this mythological figure, if you go to a temple and find someone who has 3 legs, it's Rishi Bringi, and this is the story which is associated with that. So here again, both Purusha and Prakriti, both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, both together create this creation. Okay. In shloka number 11, Krishna says, the ignorant are oblivious of my transcendental nature, and they discount my presence within the human form. So here we discuss that how when Krishna came as an avatar in a human body, it is so difficult for people around to understand that in this human form is the vast infinite Krishna consciousness, is that vast, omnipresent, omnipotent, all-powerful being is living inside this human being that they see through their physical eyes. It's only when somebody has divine vision can they realize the presence of Christ or Krishna in the body of Jesus or Jadava. And similar is there's a story in the Bible parallel to this, where Jesus actually he collects his disciples around him and he asks them, who do you think I am? And still, even the disciples have this human side and they are not sure what he's asking and what they should answer. Here Simon Peter, he answers, he says, thou art the Christ. So he intuitively understands the presence of Christ in the body of Jesus. And same is here Krishna is saying that people do not understand the divinity which is present in the human body, that I am immanent, that I am transcendent, and only by divine vision can we have that. And that divine vision is the intuition which is developed in each one of us through meditation. So it's not just a few 10, 12, 15 people who will have divine visions and others will not. Anybody who is able to develop their intuitive capability by the power of meditation, and of course by the grace of God, if he wants himself to be revealed, only then he will reveal himself. So when these two combine, then anyone can have that divine vision. But then, of course, we have to transcend our ego for that, and we have to do all the things that are prescribed for self-discipline and self-control and develop bhakti, true surrender to the Lord. Only then does he reveal himself to us. In shloka number 12, Krishna goes on, he says, men with a demonic nature, they lack insight and their thoughts and actions are all in vain. So these people are predominantly of tamasic nature. All that they do in life, that is in vain. All that they are thinking, all that whatever they are planning, their intentions, all is in vain, means it is pointless. What do we mean? So when we look around, we find that people are just running around here and there doing variety of good and bad things. And Krishna here is saying that if you're on the demonic side, if you have, selfishly you are thinking in this world, then all that you're doing is in vain. Why? So let's take the example of a school. When you send your child to school, what is the purpose of sending him to school? The purpose is either the child develops his academic skills, or maybe he develops in his arts, or he does something good in sports. So there is some talent or some skill or something coming out. Okay, so just give me a moment. It seems that God is playing around and we have some electricity issues. Okay, so I'm back here. Right. So, so that means, but if the child goes to school physically, the body of the child has gone to the physical structure of the school, but there All he does is he makes trouble with everybody, and he just spends his time loitering here and there, and he does not develop any academic skill or sports or arts, then whatever he is doing during the time period he is in school is going in vain. So similarly, we are in the school of life, or master said this is a military school of training. Earth life is a military school. And if here we have forgotten the purpose for which we have come here, and we have come here for self-realization, if we forget that purpose and then we keep doing this and that activity, then actually all of this is in vain, because we are not solving the purpose for which we came to this school. And therefore, it is important that first we, by good actions, we override our bad tendencies. And then finally, of course, as we grow spiritually, we find that both the good and bad have to be transcended. But let's remember this. This is a very important shloka to remind us that anything that we do which is not in favor of or not taking us towards self-realization, not taking us towards God, is a waste of time. It is pointless. It is in vain, because this is not what we came here for. It is just that we have had so many bodily existences that this appears to be the natural thing to do. But otherwise, if a human does not work for self-realization and only eats and sleeps and works a little and does that little cycle, all animals on the planet are also doing the same. Every animal gets up in the morning, arranges for its food, for somehow has the food, has some entertainment, then goes to sleep, creates a family, procreates, and that's it. So if the human comes to this school and does all these things, then where are we going? What is the purpose of our existence in a human body? So therefore, again, we must remember that this human bodily existence is precious, and we have to use the current nervous system that we have been given to realize the presence of God within us. And realizing God within us, we will be able to realize Him everywhere around. In shloka number 13, in 12 he talks about the demonic creatures. In 13 he is talking about Mahatmas. He says, Mahatmas, or great souls, O Arjuna, express divine qualities in their nature. And what are these qualities? They offer their undeviating mind to me, and they know me as the imperishable source of all life. So here let us think of the Mahatmas that have been given themselves undeviatingly to the Lord. In Indian scriptures, there are many examples. Even we have read in our school books, we have read examples of Mirabai, of Prahlad, of saints like Namdev, like Tukaram. So what did these do specially to gain the grace of God? So we know that Prahlad, although he was born as a son of a asura, as a son of a Rakshasa, but in his heart he had so much devotion for Lord Vishnu, and he could think of only Narayana, that the Lord had to take a specific form and appear to him to kill his father from a pillar. So, and such is the power and grace of the Lord, that for his devotee, the Lord can do anything. Anything that you may think it's impossible, but the Lord can do it for a devotee who is completely, undeviatingly, loyal to the Lord. Same we know of Mirabai. Now, both Mirabai and Prahlad, people tried to poison them, people tried to kill them by a snake. Prahlad they tried to kill him through fire, but they are divinely protected by the Lord. There's so many saints. India is a blessed land, and every state has so many saints and so many shrines. It's good to sometimes read that history, and it's really a privilege to be born in this land, because it is a holy land. It is said that when Sri Aurobindo came from England and he stepped on the Mumbai port, he stepped first time on the land of India after many years gap. He said for 9 continuous months he was in a state of samadhi. It's just the touch of this land. And we know that Paramahansa Yogananda, when he passed away, when he consciously left his body, the last words on his mouth were that in praise of India, that I am blessed that I touched this sword. that spiritual skyscrapers are found on the wayside. And so here we are blessed to be born here, because bhakti is in the air, spirituality is in the soil, and the tales, the puranas, the stories, the guidelines, everything is around. It's just that we are not very fully awake to the fact that how blessed we are. We are not grateful for the fact, and we are just whiling away our time here and there. So Master and Krishna are saying that this is all in vain. If you waste your time, this precious human life, not seeking God, then it is going to be a pointless life. Shloka number 14. Now, in 13, he mentioned Mahatmas. In 14, now he says how Mahatmas, are undeviatingly united to the Lord, how they are so much one-pointedly in love with the Lord. He says, firstly, they worship with a single mind. Secondly, they do it unceasingly. There is no pause in between. This unceasing and continuous worship that they do leads them to the Lord, because at every moment they are in some way united to the Lord. Now you may say that, oh, the saints can do this, but what about we poor mortals, urban creatures, we have so much else to do. But here it has been advised. What has Paramahansa Yogananda ji said? He said, while waking, eating, sleeping, working, meditating, dreaming, say God, God, God. So stay connected to God. That's what Ramakrishna Paramahansa ji also said. He said, when you are working, your one hand should be at the feet of Divine Mother and your other hand should be in your work. And once your work, the other work stops, then your both hands should be touching the feet of Divine Mother. So all saints are prescribing the same thing. They are prescribing an unceasing connection with the Lord. Yes, you will meditate for some time, but what about the rest of the day? The rest of the day you have to keep God in remembrance. You have to keep thinking of Him, and sometimes not only thinking of Him or calling Him, sometimes you have to express Him in your actions. If you are expressing happiness and sharing your happiness with others, that is also connection with God. If you are loving others unconditionally, that way also you are expressing God. If in spite of challenges you are acting in a state of peace and calmness, that is also a connection to God. So here, everything can be divinized and spiritualized. Every action can be spiritualized. So this is our aim, that out of all our waking hours, we should try and spiritualize every moment. And spiritualizing means connecting with the divine in some way or the other. Then another quality that Master says is that not only are they unceasingly connected, but they are full of enthusiasm and determination to do this. So for us, let us check, are we doing our prayers mechanically, or is our really heart involved in what we are doing? Because without the heart, without the love, without the bhav, without the bhakti, it is not going to fructify. So our heart should be involved completely. If God wants ananya bhakti from us, He wants our heart. So let us check that, is it that we are mechanically doing our practice and our heart is in the world? So this is a point to be checked every moment by moment, day by day. Mostly what happens is our heart is with the world, and with our mind we are calculating God, and with our mind we are calculating what are we going to get from God. And saints say that it should be reverse, that your heart should be given to God, and with your intellect and mind you should do only basic necessary things that are required in the world. So that does not mean, when I'm saying basic necessary things, that does not mean that the scientist will not do his science or the artist will not do his art. Of course, when they do their work, they will be fully engrossed, because full one-pointed concentration in anything is also being one with God. But that means that your heart is still given to the Lord. The owner of your heart is the Lord, and the rest you do because God has given you the intellect and the talent to do that. That is why you are doing that, and whatever work God gives you, that has to be done to the best of your capability. And of course, there are many ways we have discussed of praying to the Lord, of singing to the Lord, of chanting, of dancing, of meditating, of contemplating. So these various saints and Mahatmas, they participate in all of these things, or they are just simply in their inner contemplations. So in the Mahatma can be in the cave, and the Mahatma can be in urban setup as well. So if you are living in urban life, but in your heart there is inner renunciation of the world, you are in the world but you are not of it, and in your heart you've given your life and your love to the Lord, and you know that He is the only one that you want in your life, there is no more desire left, then you are a Mahatma living in the city. So it does not really matter what is your outer garb, what is the dress you are wearing, or whatever, what is the place you are living, whether it's a forest or a city, that does not matter. What really matters is your heart. Where is your heart, and how dedicatedly you have given it to the Lord? And you may ask this question, why should I give my heart to the Lord? Because unless you unite yoga, unless you unite your heart with the Lord in love, you will never feel satisfied, you will never feel complete, there is no sense of fulfillment, there is always a hole, there is always, you are thinking there is something else which will make me happy. And that's what Paramahansa Yogananda said, that something else that you are looking is God. And therefore, unless we give ourselves one pointedly and fully to the Lord, we will never have that ananda that we are looking, the unconditional happiness and the unconditional love that every heart is seeking cannot be found in the world. It is found only in the Lord, and therefore we must give ourselves completely to the Lord. Shloka number 15, he said that he talks about Jnana Yoga, and this is Jnana Yagya. So Jnana Yagya is the fire of knowledge, and also Jnana Yagya means that when you offer all the knowledge that you have gained of the world as an oblation itself toward the highest wisdom, that means all the human level of consciousness and understanding is offered as a fire rite to higher wisdom, into Krishna consciousness, and then into cosmic consciousness, then that is the real Gyan Yagya. And because this will include automatically offering the I-ness or the ego. And when the ego is offered with all the knowledge that it has gained, then this becomes a Jnana Yagya, and this is a beautiful way to connect with the Lord. So we now come to shloka number 16. Aham kraturaham yagya swadaham ham aushadham mantroham aham evajam aham agnir aham hutam. मैं ही अनुष्ठान, यज्ञ, पूर्वजों का तर्पण, औषधि, पवित्र मंत्र, घी, पवित्र अग्नि तथा आहुति भी हूँ. I am the rite, the sacrifice, the oblation to ancestors, the medicinal herb, the holy chant, the melted butter, the sacred fire, and the offering. So again, this is in continuation to what Krishna has already said, that he is everything. And because why has he mentioned a yagya? Because yagya was the common form of worship in those times, and people understood what is the meaning of yagya, that how you offer ghee, you offer wood, you offer incense, you may offer flowers. So whatever that you offer to that yagya, he is saying, I am that, I am the aushadhi, the medicinal herbs, the samagri that you put, I am that. And the yagya is beautiful also because you are saying to the Lord that all of this I have received from you. Whatever you offered in a yagya or in a puja is what you have received from the Lord, and in gratitude you are acknowledging that this has been received from the Lord, and you are returning it with love. And when you return this, even that returning is the Lord. The one who is performing the puja or the yagya is the Lord. The offering is the Lord. The fire is the Lord himself. So all of this is Krishna, and this is what he is clarifying, that whoever who does a fire rite thinking, wanting something, if he forgets that everything is Krishna, then he is deviating from the real wisdom and the real knowledge, because the final truth is that everything is one. So all knowledge that you gain will become highest only if it is unifying your understanding, if it is taking you from the many to the one, from the dual to the non-dual. Only then that knowledge is, is considered to be the highest truth. And here, with the example of a yajna which people used to perform, he is saying that all that you do, all that you think, that all that you offer is already me, and the fire itself is also me. Shloka number 7. Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata pitamaha chedyam pavitramo omkara riksama yajurevacha. मैं ही इस जगत का पिता, माता, पूर्वज, संरक्षक, पापनाशक, सर्व समावेशी, जानने योग्य, ब्रह्मांडीय ओम तथा वैदिक ज्ञान भी हूं. Of this world, I am the father, the mother, the ancestor, the preserver, the sanctifier, the all-inclusive object of knowledge, the cosmic Om, and also the Vedic lore. So beautiful. Now, this verse is telling us that Krishna is our father and mother. So, to understand this in a metaphysical way, what Yogananda ji says is that when the Lord exists, when Brahman or Par Brahman exists as absolute existence, and there is no creation, but when he wants to create, then he divides that one universal absolute spirit. It divides itself into three parts: Sat, Tat, and Om. So Sat becomes God, the Father or cosmic consciousness. Tat is the reflection of the God the Father, becoming God the Son, or Krishna consciousness or Christ consciousness. And the third aspect is the Om, is in which the Son of cosmic consciousness is reflected. So when you need a reflection, so kind of when there is a real sun, you need a pot and water so that you can have the reflection of that sun into that water. So the main sun becomes the Sat, the pot of water with the water becomes the Om, and the reflection that you see of the sun inside that becomes Tat. So the absolute existence will divide itself into three, and so it becomes God the Father, God the Mother, which is Om or Prakriti or Shakti, and God the Son, which is Krishna or Christ. So this is how he is, metaphysically speaking, he is the father and mother of the entire creation and including us. Now let us think of even our personal fathers and mothers. Who is the power which is running the body of our parents? Now, if you would say when somebody dies, what do you say? When our parents leave the mortal frame, we say that they have gone and the body is burnt. So was the body our mother or father? No, because what we say that they have gone. So that means the Sukshma Sharira or the astral body, the causal body encasing the soul, that was probably the parent who was functioning through this body. And then if we analyze further, then inside the astral and causal bodies is the soul, which is the same as the Paramatman. The Atman is the same as the Paramatman. So actually it was Krishna himself or the Lord himself who through the agency of a particular set of thoughts, energy patterns and matter is playing the role of our father and mother right now. So when we say I love my father and mother, even in a personal sense, we are actually loving the Paramatman only. It's just that our identification is with our own body and with their bodies. Therefore, we do not understand that we are loving the Lord. But it is the Lord we are loving. And he is directly saying that I am your father and mother, both metaphysically and theoretically, as well as practically, looking around all the people who are playing the roles of your children, of your spouses, or your parents. What is the power running their bodies? It is the Lord himself within you and with. So all of these are characters. And that is why this is a drama. There is one power running all the bodies. And it is appearing different, even all the animal bodies, all the plant bodies, even the rocks, the water, everything, the power behind all of this is Krishna, is one. And it appears to be different. And that is the Leela, that is the drama that is happening. So we must remember that the parents that we love right now in the form they are around us, this is a temporary love. And because our real love is with the Lord, before we came into this body, who loved us? It is the Lord. And when we will go from this planet, leave our body and move on, who will still love us? Who will still be our parent? It is going to be the Lord. And if you remember reading the autobiography where, when Yogananda ji's mother died when he was very young, and he was really distressed and he was desperate to meet his mother, and he prayed so deeply that he had the vision of Divine Mother and his mother, and Divine Mother reassured him. He said, "It is I who have been loving you and taking care of you from birth to birth." This is the truth, that God is our real father, God is our real mother, and it is He who takes us from birth to birth, from one school of life to another school of life. He trains us, He personally guards us. Like a parent, He protects us, like a father, He provides for us, like a mother, He comforts us, and He is also our friend. In every way, God, takes care of us, and He's directly saying here that I am your father, mother, and He's also saying I am your ancestor. So that means when you think of ancestors as in grandfather, grandmother, and their parents, again, Krishna is the power that was running through the genes of those parents, the bodies of those grandparents. And sometimes we kind of say that, okay, the cause, I am here because of my father and mother. And you'll say, why my father and mother are here? Because of the grandparents. But Krishna is clarifying here that I am the ancestor, I am the grandfather, grandmother. There is only one, this all is one. It appears as so, it appears sequentially in time. Therefore, we get confused as to, we think that one thing comes after another, but all the roles are being played by Krishna. And also we have to understand that because we understand causality, therefore we start to ask this question, okay, who created Krishna then? So Krishna is the causeless cause of everything, and therefore the ancestors are also Krishna. Means there is only one causeless, self-effulgent Lord, which then creates separately the law of causation and binds the creatures with it. And this is all is His Leela. And the second line, he talks about the power of Omkar and the Vedic lore, which he has already explained earlier, that he himself is the Pranava, and Omkar is that divine mother aspect, which, the vibration in which the all creation is then made of. So here what we must do is that when we understand that the Lord is our father and mother, then we must sublimate the love and attachment. So we have attachment with the physical form of our parents. We should gradually sublimate that, soften that, and convert it into a reverence of bowing to the Lord. So suppose we touch the feet of our mother and father. Now from now on, let us feel that we are actually touching the feet of Krishna, who is living inside the bodies of our parents. And slowly also, this way, one pointedly we can focus on the Lord. When we can see Krishna playing through all these bodies, then it is easy for us to understand that He is omnipresent. Shloka number 18. Tapamyaham aham varsha nigrinyamutrijami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sad asad chaham Arjuna. हे अर्जुन, मैं ही सूर्य को ऊष्मा प्रदान करता हूँ तथा मैं ही वर्षा करवाता हूँ अथवा उसे रोकता हूँ। अमरत्व मैं हूँ तथा मृत्यु भी मैं हूँ। मैं ही सत और असत भी हूँ। I bestow solar heat, O Arjuna, and give or withhold rain. Immortality am I, and also death. I am being or sat and non-being or asat. So he is further clarifying that, when he starts to explain that it's natural human intellect will say, oh, what about this? then who is this also Krishna? Is that also Krishna? So these are unasked questions, that run in our subconscious mind, and Krishna understands our intellectual, jumpings from here to there, and therefore without asking, he is already telling us that whatever is any nook and corner of information is missing, he is adding on to that in saying, this also I am, that also I am, everything I am, and he's explaining with specific, examples. Okay. So here we must, just give me a moment. I think I have, okay. So I have read out verse 19. So let me first get to verse number 18. गतिर्भता प्रभु साक्षी निवासा शरणं सुहृत् प्रभव प्रलय स्थानम निधानम बीजम अव्ययम। मैं ही परम लक्ष्य धारण करने वाला, नियंता, साक्षी, आश्रय, शरण और परम मित्र हूँ। मैं उत्पत्ति, प्रलय, आधार, ब्रह्मांडीय निधान तथा अविनाशी बीज भी मैं हूँ। I am the ultimate goal, the upholder, the master, the witness, the shelter, the refuge, and the one friend. I am the origin, the dissolution, the foundation, the cosmic storehouse, and the seed indestructible. So just what we were saying, that he has pointed out to every little thing, and he's saying, I am. So the words that are used in Sanskrit and the meanings has been given, but let us understand each one of them. So one is Gati, I am the goal. So again, let us think of our life. Do we remember that our goal is to find Krishna? No. We have got lost in this fair of world, and so therefore Krishna has come into our life, and he is saying your goal is Krishna consciousness, is that cosmic consciousness. So therefore let's not forget that. Then he says, I am the Bharta, I am the supporter, I am the nourisher. Again, we live in delusion. We think, oh, I am earning money for myself and my family, I am buying food, and I am feeding my family. We are forgetting that the sun and the moon and the stars and the wind and the soil and the earth and everything is being created by God. The souls are belonging to God. Their bodies are belonging to God. Our children are also not really our children. They are the children of God. So we are forgetting that the nourisher and the supporter is God. So he is reminding us that I am sustaining everything. Then he is the Prabhu. Prabhu means Lord, of course, we understand. Then he is the Sakshi. So he is witnessing everything. He is creating and he is witnessing. So he is witnessing all our thoughts and emotions, all our intentions, all our actions, all our speech. Everything is being witnessed, and according to whatever we are doing, we are generating an energy movement in the universe, and that energy movement will rest back only upon us itself as egos. And therefore it is so important to transcend the ego and come to that point of witness, because if there is no ego, then the karma which has been bounced initially, it cannot come back to a post. And that is why it is said that once you take sharanagati or surrender to the Lord, then the prarabdha that you have come with, this body and this life that is happening, that will go on. But your sanchit karma, means the bag, the treasury of karma which is hidden and not has given fruit right now, that can be destroyed by surrender to God. And your future karma, the agami karma, will also not fructify, will not create specific results for you. So both the sanchit and the agami karma can be destroyed by surrender to the Lord. The prarabdha, though we have to just go through, but of course here also if we become the witness of that, then we do not suffer because of it. Then he says, I am the nivasaha, or the abode of everything, everyone. So when we say that, this is my address, this is where I live. So this is the address of only your body. Your body lives in such and such state, in such and such country, in such and such continent. But where do you live and who are you? So to answer this question of where do I live, I have to first understand who am I. And then when I answer that question, that I know, then this abode which I think is mine, this house which I am so attached to, is only a temporary visit place for me when I'm working through this body. So here comes the importance of non-attachment. And all saints say that we should live in our own houses, which we think they are actually not own. Everything belongs to the Lord. We should live in the houses that we live like a guest. So ask yourself, what is your attitude towards your possessions, towards the house in which your body is residing? Because you are omnipresent. The real you is light itself. But how attached are you to the house in which you, so that you have to check this a day, and by introspection you have to ask this question: what if this is taken away from me? And of course, the God is kind. He is not going to unnecessarily take anything from you. He is not going to take any shelter away from you. But ask yourself, what is going to happen if this is taken away from me? And Swamiji gave a beautiful exercise. He would say, at the end of each day, create a mental bonfire, and in that fire, throw your attachments. So obviously you're not going to throw your house into that fire. It means that the attachment that is binding you so solidly to this earthly mansion, that you have to let go, because it's only a temporary caravanserai. And then not only the physical house, your body itself is a house. You should think of your body, as some saints would say, think of it as a rented apartment. As long as you are doing something, you are paying the rent through it, but one day you will have to evacuate this apartment that you are living to, which you call your body. And other saints say, think of it like a chariot, the ratha, or you can say SUV. So what this is, the SUV which is carrying you. Your body is not you. This is a vehicle in which you are traveling. So again, the more attachment you have with this vehicle, then whenever it starts to break down, the more suffering you will have. So here Krishna is saying, I am the abode of everything. So how much of it do we remember? So these are eye openers where we must introspect and analyze what is our position concerning to what is being said here. And we should therefore keep correcting ourselves. Why we should correct ourselves? Because we want to reduce and get over the suffering which is there in life, and we want to be in that unending bliss. Therefore, we have to realize the truth. Then he says, I am the Sharanam, the refuge. Then he says, Suhrit, the true friend. So he is our only friend. He is the friend who comes to us through the bodies of others. When you find a friend who truly loves you, then always recognize that it is the Lord that has come to you in that form and shape and name. But eventually, only Lord is our friend, because He is the only reality. And as a friend, He's the nearest of the near, He's the dearest of the dear, because He's closer to you than your own thoughts and emotions. Even before you actually put into words what you want, your friend inside already knows. And what kind of a friend would he be or she be if you're doing wrong and he and she does not correct you? So therefore, when something you are trying to do which is not right for you, and you find that obstacles are coming and there is pain on that side, it means the Lord is kind of saying you as a friend that is not the right path for you. You must change your direction. You must rethink and see which side your energy should be going. Is it Godward or not? So as a friend, he's as they say, BFF, best friend forever. Again, before this life, after this life, he will always be our friend. And as a friend, he loves us conditionally and is our only well-wisher. The rest of the world is very, very selfish, and the love that they give you cannot be so unconditional. In return, everybody expects something from you. And that Yogananda ji also said that this world is based on usefulness. If you are useful to somebody else, they will be your friend. If you are not useful to anybody else, then you are easily forgotten. Everybody is dispensable. None of us is indispensable. If we are not here on the planet tomorrow, maybe a couple of days people will get sad and a few tears will be shed, but then life will go on and people will just move on with their lives. Yes, of course, a couple of people around you do get affected for a little longer time, but that's it. So don't think that no, that self-importance with which we live, and we think that we are so important and indispensable. Let's just get rid of that and consider the Lord as our best friend. And when we say He is our best friend, then we know that whatever is coming to our lives right in front of us is being sent by Him, because He knows what is best for us. And therefore, then let us see life from that perspective, that everything happens through a divine plan. God knows everything. As a friend, as a parent, He is doing the best for us. And let me now see what I should be doing. What is my role in my life at the present moment? Then he says, I am the Prabhava and the Pralaya, means the origin and the dissolution. I am the foundation. I am the Bijam Ananyam. So he is the seed indestructible. So even when the night of Brahma comes and all of the creation is withdrawn back, it is kept in a seed form. And again, when the Lord creates, this is thrown back again. And so he is that seed of creation, which even after Pralay remains, and then he is the cause of the next cycle of creation. And then we come back to shloka number 9, which we have already read. But let me just repeat the English version, in which he says, I bestow solar heat, O Arjuna, and give or withhold the rain. Immortality am I, and also death. I am being and non-being, Sat and Asat. So what does this mean? So now he's saying directly that I am the heat of the sun. So we think we pray to the sun, Lord God, because we think that life on earth would not be possible without the sun. But then who is giving light and heat to the sun? It is the Lord Himself. So, and also he talks about the rain. So he's talking about the physical forces. So we know that there are many people and many tribes used to exist who would pray to the elements, the sun and the wind god, the water god, and the fire, and all of these elements they would pray to. So here Krishna is saying, even if you are thinking of the elements, even that I am. It is I who cause the rain to happen. It is I who withhold the rain. And so all the physical forces that are run, if you think of the water cycle, the process of evaporation, the process of condensation and forming the clouds, and the process of precipitation as rain. So all of this processes is also Krishna. Every movement that is happening around in the universe is Krishna. The absolute stillness, which is the substratum of all of this activity, is also Krishna. And then he is saying, I am immortality and I am death. So again, we would have this question that, who controls life and death? So clearly he is saying, I am both. Everything that your mind and intellect can think of. So every object, every action, every verb, every noun, every language, every happening, every power, all that is Krishna. Excuse me. So then, also in the end, he says, I am Sat and Asat. So that means all that is manifested and all that is non-manifested as the seed. So he has said this earlier, but again he is repeated just in case Arjuna or devotees like us are still confused as to what Krishna is. He is explaining further that whatever you see as manifestation is me, and whatever is the power behind it, which is the unmanifested, which is the seed, is also me. And when this creation is dissolved, then whatever absolute existence, consciousness, bliss remains, that is also He. So Krishna is everything. If we can just remember this, and then start to apply it in our daily life, the people that you meet, if you start to see and remind yourself that these are all, these are Krishna living through different bodies and minds. The things that you use, all of that is Krishna. In fact, life will become very difficult if we forget this duality and we start thinking of Krishna. But then there will be so much love and bliss. We will kind of melt because we are already living in this ocean of bliss. But we are not familiar with the oneness of this powerful ocean. And that is why we are in a state of intellectual bewilderment. And we think that we have to do this, we have to do that. This is an object and I am watching and I have to do so many things I have to do. There are ambitions to be solved. There's money to be earned. Money is also Krishna. Ambition is also Krishna. My life is also Krishna. Everything is Krishna. And not only all the objects are Krishna, but the subject himself, the one who is playing all these roles, the one who is experiencing the experiences, the one who is creating these experiences, everything is Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. This whole universe is Krishnamai, is pervaded with the Lord, with Krishna. And this is so beautiful. Okay. So we now come to shlokas number 20 and 21. They are taken up together. There's a bit long in, a little difficult to pronounce, but let me give it a try. Traividya mam som paput papa yagyarishtva swargatim prarthayante te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyam divi dev bhogan. This is 20, 21. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam shine punyamartya lokam vishanti evam trayi dharmam anuprapanna gata gatam kama kama labhante. In Hindi. 20. वेदों के अनुसार कर्म कांड करने वाले जो सोम रस से अपने पापों का शुद्धिकरण करते हैं, यज्ञ द्वारा मेरी पूजा करके अपनी स्वर्ग में आने की इच्छा को पूर्ण करते हैं, वहां सूक्ष्म देवताओं के पवित्र साम्राज्य में भक्त सूक्ष्म स्वर्गीय सुखों का आनंद लेते हैं. 21. परंतु ऐसे भव्य उच्च क्षेत्रों का आनंद लेने के पश्चात उनके अच्छे कर्मों की समाप्ति पर ऐसे लोग पृथ्वी पर लौट आते हैं. इस प्रकार शास्त्रोक्त नियमों के पालन से सकाम रूप से बद्ध भोगों और उनमें निहित निश्चित स्वर्गीय प्रतिफलों की कामना रखने वाले चक्रीय पथ पर आते जाते रहते हैं. So this is very, very important. Let's me just speak it out in English first and then we'll discuss. 20. The way the ritualists, cleansing themselves of sin by the Soma rite, worship me by Yajna and thus win their desire of entry into heaven. There, in the sacred kingdom of the astral deities, devotees enjoy subtle celestial pleasures. 21. But after delighting in the glorious higher regions, such beings, at the expiration of their good karma, return to earth. Thus, abiding by scriptural regulations, desiring the enjoyments, they travel the cyclic path between heaven and earth. To put it very, very simply, what is it that we want? Do we want the pleasures of this world, or do we want the Lord? Do we want to get involved in the magic show, or do we want to know the magician who is controlling everything? So this shlokas explains the attitude of those people who are they have more and more desires for pleasures, sensual pleasures, more variety of those pleasures, more number of those pleasures, and maybe a subtler, refined pleasures of the heavenly spheres. It has been said in scriptures that there are many heavenly spheres existing, parallel universes, parallel frequencies, where there is subtle enjoyment, and the angelic beings, the Devi Devata, they reside there. But and so by performing good actions, by doing the rituals that have been prescribed in the karma kand of the Vedas, any of us can achieve those subtler realms. Any of us can go to those realms, enjoy the pleasures which are there. And Sri Yukteswarji has described in his chapter in the autobiography that how in other lokas, how beautiful those spheres are, that how one can at will create anything. So there is a lot of power in those places, and there is a lot of beauty in those places, and the ills and the sufferings that we see here on earth, they are not present there. But the only problem is that once your good karma has finished, it has expired, then you have to come back to earth. And then when you come back to earth, because you are still desiring pleasure and more pleasure, again all your actions will be oriented to gain pleasure out of this life. So all of us in this life, we think getting comfortable is a good thing, whatever is pleasing is good, and let me not do a lot of work. And this life is not meant for pleasure and enjoyment. Pleasure and enjoyment is only a fringe benefit of what we have really come here for. But we forget that and we engaged in the poisoned honey of this world. Engaging in the sensual pleasures of this world is like poisoned honey. It appears to be sweet in the beginning, but then it kills you. So, it is just like, suppose you're going to have a sweet dish. Let's say you're going to have a rasgulla, and you're really, really, looking forward to have a rasgulla. Your mouth is watering. But then somebody at the last moment whispers in your ear, do you know that this rasgulla is poisoned? Would you want to have it? No. So we have forgotten that all the pleasures here in this world are poisoned by suffering and pain. We only see the outward garb. But if we were to remember that all that appears sweet here is superficially at the level of the senses is poisoned, then we will be very careful in utilizing, in indulging in it. Of course, the senses have been given so that we can operate in this world, but are we indulging? Are we abusing our senses? Because if you abuse and indulge in sensual pleasure, then we are going to be trapped and it's going to kill us. Because kill us in the sense it is going to keep us limited to the body, and we will never experience the bliss of the soul. And if you are again doing good work, if in your mind it is that, let me do some good karma, let me do some charity, let me feed the poor, because by doing this I will go to heaven. So again, you are still wanting the subtle, the refined pleasures of heaven. And once that the karma is finished, you will come back here. Now, there is a difference between leaving the physical world and leaving the astral world. So, as our bodies age in the physical world, we somehow know by the eyes will start to get weak, the teeth will start to fall, the hair will start to get gray, the skin will change, the bodily functions change. So God gives us indications that, that your body is changing, that eventually it will go towards death and you will have to leave this physical world. But in the astral world, I have read somewhere that it says that it's suddenly, as soon as your good karma is finished, you suddenly are dropped out of that astral world, and you don't even have time to realize that you don't know what the expiry date is. So in fact, leaving the astral world is also a painful process. And therefore, if we want, and this cycle continues, it is because of our desire to attain pleasure. This is the only desire which is trapping us from one birth to another birth, from one realm to another realm. So that is why desirelessness is the only thing that will take us to nirvana or to moksha. If we say, okay, I am bliss myself, I am happiness myself, and I know that any object of this world does not have any power to give me any more happiness than I myself am. And any happiness that I gain from the objects of this world is anyway tinted with poison. And therefore, I don't want anything from this world. I want the creator of this world. I want the king of the kingdom of this creation. I have played with toys enough. I have enjoyed this limited life enough. Now I want to feel that oneness, that power which is my truth. I want to feel my infinite bliss and my eternal love, which is my true nature, and I will not settle for less. So we have to come to this point where we reject all the petty little pleasures that this world has to offer, knowing that they are poisoned, and we have to move towards that unconditional bliss. But this journey is difficult. So it is not difficult to find the Lord, but it is more difficult to leave your attachment to the pleasures of this world. So if by developing my meditation, and by introspection, if we can develop that vairagya, then automatically we will become one with the Lord. So with this thought, we will end today's class, and we will share the blessings and the power of these teachings with souls everywhere. Let us pray together. Divine Mother, Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, all minds, and all souls. Om. 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 Divine Mother, beloved Krishna, great Gurus, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken thy love in all true hearts. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.